Hi friends, it's Diane, the Creative Inkster, and today is Sunday, January 30th, and I'm here to show you how to make a slimline card. This is different than our usual typical cards that kind of are this way, and they're 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But this is kind of a fun card because you can make your own envelope to go in it, or you can pop this into a regular business envelope. So when it's finished, this card is 8 1/2 inches long by 3 1/2 inches wide. Let me show you how to make it. You're not going to get 2 out of a piece of regular 8 1/2 by 11 cardstock, but that's okay because you can reuse the pieces. In fact, join me tomorrow for the Creative Escape at the Creative Inkster on the Facebook page. And I'm going to show you how to reuse that piece that we cut off from here. All right, so this card was made with Daffodil Afternoon. It's one of our celebration freebies, and so there's all kinds of beautiful paper in here. And I also used this art ribbon. It's called Fine Art Ribbon, nice and shiny and sparkly, and a few little gems here. My favorite, the iridescent pearls, and this punch, Label Me Fancy. I've recently acquired it because it was in the catalog, but of course I didn't buy it right off, and I'm using it all the time now. And of course my ink was Mossy Meadow to match. So let's make one, but instead of using 12 by 12 paper, we're going to use something else. So I can show you how you marry them nicely together. Exactly how I did this here. This started off being a 12 by 12. I actually cut it at 6 inches so I can make a second one with that length. And then when you add the piece at the bottom here, if you cover it up with ribbon or a strip of cardstock or a label that fits across, you'll hide the seam. All right, so we're going to use the Sunshine and Rainbows paper. This is one of my favorite patterns in the pack. That's what the back looks like. So let's see, is it 6 inches long? Oh, perfect. So we need this to be 3 inches wide. So 6 by 3. What that is a half sheet of what this normally comes in. Perfect. That means you can make a second one with it. Then we need a piece for the bottom, and it measures 2 by 3. So I want to find something that has some of that pool party in it. So let's see what I've got out of my scraps. Like really, let's use the scraps up. I have a bunch left over here. That would be nice. This is the one I like, this side here. So let's use this one. And I said it had to be 2 inches, not quite 2 inches. Okay, darn, we need a bigger piece. Oh, I know, these ones were cut for a different class. Can that go on the bottom? That's okay, we can cut into a new piece. I got lots. Look at how many sheets of this paper I've got. Okay, so actually this would be kind of pretty. So it is going to be cut at 2. You can make it a little bit longer. That's okay too. Maybe I'll just make it a little bit longer and we'll overlap it. 2 by 3. Something like little stripes. And we'll add that together like that. So we need a couple of pieces of cardstock. And what I've chosen is Mango Melody for my card base. It's already 8 1/2 wide. This is a full sheet of cardstock. I need to make it 7 inches long. That means I'm going to open this trimmer to 7 inches. I'm going to cut it off. Don't lose this piece. You can make a 4 by 4 card out of it. So we'll tuck it aside. So it's 7 inches wide. I'm going to score it in the middle at 3 1/2. It's going to be our score line. So we've got 3 1/2 and 3 1/2. And then we need a piece that is 8 1/4. Well, that's 8 1/2 by 3 1/4. So let's cut off a section of 3 1/4. This way we're going to cut the least amount of waste. I can still get a whole card base out of that. So 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. It's going to be my layer. This is how you get a 3 1/2 inch card with an extra layer in between it and the paper. So if you'd actually folded this one line. There's your card base. And you just put your 3-inch wide. You don't want to take a 6x6 and cut it at 3 1/4. You're going to have a piece that's not really going to be so usable. If you just stick this on the card, you've got a wide layer or a wide mat on it. I want to add this so that it looks a little bit nicer and fills that gap in a little bit. See what I did there? And then just here, we're just auditioning the card, getting it looking the way we want. All right, that's what we're going for. All right, so in order to wrap some ribbon around this layer, we got to get working on this layer by itself. So let's take our large 3x6, add some glue to the back, and get it centered with the right matte dimensions around it towards the top. We can add that small piece after. Oops, it's wiggling. That's what I like about liquid glue, is I can wiggle it into place wherever I need it to land. Okay, so there we go. Push that down, and then we're going to take this piece. Oh, I kind of like that. The ribbon I've chosen is this. That may be lost a little bit. Let's see. Let's audition it. Oh yeah, definitely. I like this piece better. All right, so that worked out nicely. So because I cut it a little bit longer than 2 inches, it's not like they're going to butt right up against one another or it'd stick off the edge of the card. I'm just going to have it cover over it a little bit. So we'll get our glue on there. Try and get a little bit to the edges here. Not too much because liquid glue can squeeze out on you. And this time I'm going to measure it from the bottom or short up from the bottom like that. Okay, now we're going to add some ribbon. Let's do an easy bow around it. Keep it simple. Grab the scissors, paper snips. Go. How much did I cut off? 15 inches. I think the technical way of doing it is take your measurement. It's kind of like when you hang drapes. Take your measurement across and triple it. I can usually get a bow a little easier with a little less waste than that. But it depends on the ribbon you're working with, because sometimes you need a little bit more in order for it to tie a beautiful bow. There we go. We'll just play with it a little bit, make it look pretty. Even the sides out a wee bit. There we go. Snip off the excess. Ooh, let's even that up a little bit. There's our piece. Next, we're going to stick it onto the card base, which again, it's 8.5, and it was originally 7. We scored it in the middle at 3.5 to make the slim line. And you can definitely do slim lines this way. I have a tendency to do them this way. Don't know why. Do you remember? I remember being a kid, and the stores would have typical cards like we make, our usual size. And then they'd have these tall cards with funny sayings and greetings and things on them. I don't think they really do that anymore, but that's where this sort of layout of card, that's what it reminds me of. And I could have put dimensionals on the back if I wanted. When I'm sticking it through the mail, I try to minimize my dimensionals just because it takes up that much more space going through. All right, it needs a greeting. And I happen to have the bundle that goes with this Sunshine and Rainbows paper. It just arrived. It's a stamp set with all these beautiful rainbows and some dies. And I have not played with it yet. This is sort of the first time because I'm attending a class and she sent us some cute little things inside here too. So I haven't even really gotten into this yet. But the greeting I want to use is the one that says, "You make this world a better place." And I believe that it's going to fit within this little die that comes with it. So we'll need to grab a block, and I'm going to use my Misty Moonlight ink and a piece of cardstock. Is that going to fit? Can I use this one? Oh, look at that. How perfect is that? Let's hope we can stamp within the parameters. Better yet, let's die cut first. So I'm just going to go over to the side where I have my die cutting machine. I'm going to die cut this out. And this is what your die looks like. How much fun is that? And then we're going to use the Misty Moonlight ink. Get my scratch paper here. Because I like to take a dry run to make sure I've got the right amount of ink on it and it's going to land where I want it. It's easier with photopolymer, but just in case. A little excess fluffies off of there. This is going to go down the center. You make this world a better place. And I'm going to stick it in here. I'm going to add some embellishments to it. Yeah, it's a little not quite the right spot for putting it at the bottom, not the right shape. So I'm using up the edges of the mini Stampin' Dimensionals. They've got these really wide edges and I like to use them up, cut them up. So this is what I'm going to save my popping up for. See, when you get your mini Stampin' Dimensionals, you can take them all off there, but then there's this lovely large border that you can use. All right, it's going to look a little naked. We're going to have to add some bling. And I've chosen to use some metallic pearls. Some of my ones I haven't used in a long time. So I've got only a few gold ones left. I have lots of silver. So let's use the silver ones. You grab your scissors or you take your pick tool because it has putty on the end. It makes picking up these little guys really easy. They already have adhesive on the back of them. So 3 on because that's a nice number for me. There's a good spot. Okie dokie. And that is a slim line card. And as I mentioned, you can take some paper measurements and cut an envelope shape for it to slide it in, or this fits in a regular business envelope that you can buy at the dollar store, which will save you a fair bit of money on those. Okay, enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this and we'll learn something about making slimline cards. Have a wonderful day.